today is October 14th. I met Jason King, a very knowledgeable person, passionate about this country in Cambodia, and we just have a brief conversation. And I think mentally we're on the same line, maybe to some of my friends who live in Los Angeles in America or even Canada, like even my Jewish bosses, they're probably a little bit too right, and maybe these conversations are too left. So screw you guys. You guys probably won't be listening anyway. But this is how it is, and we're here to live life, living the truth. It's not. It is a dangerous life, and some of the things we talked about, the CIA, the military-industrial complex, they might not like us discussing these topics, which lies on the truth. But this is how it is. So screw you, military-industrial complex. You know where to find me when you watch this YouTube. So one life. Fuck you. I always like to see what people are seeing, so it's something I miss. Yeah, that's nice. Yes.
I just like taking photos. Hangover from the Vietnam War.
Phnom Penh. Jason King has been educating me on how to pronounce Phnom Penh better. The way that I've pronounced it was the leftover Vietnam War, which is not the way to pronounce it. Explain to me why this is the most important 4 weeks of your life.
It's very complicated. Look,
okay, wait. Let me pause.
We make them our husbands. We make them our best friends because the lies make us happy.
We're living a life of lies. That's why.
Exactly.
This is why it's so unfortunate.
We cannot deal with our own reality. We cannot deal with the fact that we're ruled by these psychopaths.
So we need money to buy respect points and just blanket ourselves.
That's right.
It's like, what is this?
We make the lies. We make the liars our leaders. We make them our husbands. We make them the fathers of our children.
Is that why we sell alcohol so well?
That's why we're so fucked up at the moment. This is the problem that we have.
Okay, I'm giving you your entire day to tell me why this 4 weeks is important.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm most interested in what you're gonna tell me, and just a short summary in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you can go into the details later. This is how people listen, right? You give it a short summary in the beginning or opening line, and if they want to know,
yes,
they'll listen.
Yes.
If they don't, they'll just fast forward the video. Right?
Yeah. I just have a lot of sort of things going on at the moment, and I'm working with a company at the moment to promote a few of their products, and it's important that this goes well for me. There's a lot of money on the line.
So you're marketing their product?
Yeah. So,
good.
It's very complicated.
What are their products? I'm curious about.
Look, at the moment I'm working with a company that teaches foreigners to teach English here in Southeast Asia.
Okay, I have an idea for them, but
yeah. So it's been going very well, but it's this trip to Vietnam is very important to me, so I have to do well.
So they want to learn English?
No, it's for the teachers that come to teach English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm also doing a few other things over here that are kind of, it's hard to explain on film. I'll have to show you. How long are you in Ho Chi Minh for?
A short time, because seriously, if I'm going to run the whole country, I need to get to the next city in a day, like 30 to 40 kilometer. And then I wake up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and I start running, or walking, and then running.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to the next city. I'll rest.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want to be in Ho Chi Minh for more than 2 days, more than 2 nights.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually came here to see a lady friend I met 7 years ago. She has a son, and we connected a while back, and if she doesn't want to see me, she won't see me. That's fine, because this is what happens in Vietnam, because or in Southeast Asia. Once you have found an island or a new boyfriend or a new husband,
Yeah.
usually that person don't talk to anybody else anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not like North America. You can still be potential lovers or friends. And I go, yes. Honestly, I don't mind saying on cameras. I do have many potential lovers, concubines, whatever you call it. No, I do like women. And so I go, yes. I go to, even if I have one in every country, I go and see them.
Yeah.
But of course, when you go to Pattaya, which I do, of course I have more than a couple. So I go, and then the selection is endless. And I go, the connection is more important. And if I were to elaborate on camera, a beautiful women don't interest me.
Yeah.
Like their looks, you get bored after 6 months. Like wait till they're 35, you don't want to sleep with them if they don't have a good character, good attitude.
Yeah.
Like those are actually very important elements. Now that we're around the same age, now we look at women differently.
Yeah.
I go, if you don't have intelligence, don't have a heart, don't have character, don't have like you think you're a princess, a beautiful princess, go screw yourself. Nobody's gonna even look at you after 35. I don't care how much beauty product or makeup you spend on yourself.
Yeah.
But most young people, like most girls at a whorehouse, they don't know. Oh, I'm so hot. Everybody wants to be. They're not interested in guys. They're just interested in the ego, being flattered. Right? So I go, just go ahead.
I understand.
Yeah, we're older men, so we understand.
Yeah. Dear.
This is a long drive. I don't think we'll get to
Bit of
Vietnam. I knew. I thought 200 kilometers.
Yeah, it's pretty good bus, this one. We'll be in Ho Chi Minh by noon. Good train.
Thank you.
I keep forgetting that it is.
What I should have done is taking the bus to back to Phnom Penh, stay overnight, and then go to Vietnam through Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Say it again.
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Oh, it's like not PH, like
That's
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Oh.
It's just silent.
Oh, H is silent. It's opposite from French. I mean, Phnom Penh. Oh, that's how it is. I have to uneducate myself to not pronounce PH. Phnom Penh. If you don't mind me asking, how much did you pay for this ticket?
Work cards.
Work pay.
I don't know how much it was. I think it was like 27 or
27.
They usually fly me, but for some reason they make me take the bus.
Oh, good. Well, thanks for your work. They helped me meet a very important person for my education.
Well,
Our education.
the problem is, it's like I said before, people don't want to understand or believe the truth. This is the problem that we've got, because the truth is ugly.
People don't even want to understand.
It's like the truth is like having an uncle that's a pedophile. Everybody just ignores it and pretends it never happened. They don't talk about that uncle anymore. All right. This is the problem, that they are using our patriotism against us as a weapon to control our thinking, to control what we believe is true. Everything that we know is wrong. It's all bullshit. And it genuinely is. If there's nothing else that I've learned throughout my life, it's that one thing.
Yeah, they won't tell you the truth in the news. You try to put the news together and try to explain to a child what the world's like.
If you look at my Instagram, the first thing that I say on my Instagram is we live in a capitalist system of perpetual wars that are purposely manufactured for corporate profit. We don't have free press. We have the CIA, and that's the reality of the situation. It's been like that since the CIA came into being.
So if I'm making a video game about the truth, how can the new system be changed if the CIA is overthrown? But we still need to worship money of some kind, right? The economy.
Any president or anybody that that's come to prominence that has challenged the military-industrial complex is now dead or demonised. Look at JFK.
Yeah,
look at Bobby
he's
Kennedy.
assassinated because.
Look at John Lennon. Yeah,
John
look,
Lennon too?
yeah, look at Anthony Bourdain. They fucking murdered him.
Why? Because of his views?
Go and look at his Twitter.
Why didn't?
Go and read his Twitter account.
Oh,
They
yeah.
murdered him. Why? Because look, he came to Cambodia. Look, anyone who's this is a quote from Anthony Bourdain. Anyone who's been to Cambodia, once you've been to Cambodia, you'll never stop wanting to beat Henry Kissinger to death with your bare hands. And that was just bloody Cambodia. You know, they hated him. He went everywhere he wasn't supposed to go. He said everything he wasn't supposed to say. You know, and he did it for years. He was on television constantly. He was teaching the American people not to hate foreigners, and that threatened the military-industrial complex. He even said on his Twitter account before he died that he'd been approached by Hillary Clinton's bloody minders and so forth, and it wasn't pretty and all that sort of stuff. Go and read his Twitter account. I'm telling you, these people, they're Nazis. They genuinely are. Look, the Russians defeated Hitler. Okay?
Yes, I
but the
believe that.
Nazis won the Second World War because the real Nazis were on our side. Our elites. They've always been fascists.
Well, look at G7 countries.
Exactly.
Nobody explained to me why the bad guys are in the top 3. I go, okay, the Concord Accord that manipulated the Japanese dollar. Sorry, you guys lost the war, so whatever we say, whatever you guys discover is ours.
Yeah.
I don't know if the current Japanese dollars being low is also a part of the plan. But,
Well, Japan is the United States.
yeah, Japan is US. Like Germany is part of US.
This is what we don't get. Look, Hawaii is the longest running military occupation in the world. Okay? It's not America, it's a military occupation. They stole it.
Oh wait,
That's
okay.
what Hawaii is.
Now to be fair,
Yeah.
if Hawaii is not America, are they Polynesian countries? I mean,
It's Hawaii. Like Hawaii was stolen, just like Australia was stolen. Australia is a military occupation.
No,
Listen, let me explain to you. Look,
Okay.
1971, Gough Whitlam, our then-to-be Prime Minister, okay, before he became Prime Minister, became the first Western leader to go to China. He beat Richard Nixon by 7 months. Nixon and Kissinger hated him for that. Okay, that's why in 1975 they took him down in a soft coup in Australia. They removed him from office. Why? Because one, he beat Nixon he became the first Western leader to go to Peking, to visit China, to do the Great Wall, to tell the whole world how great China was, right? Then he came back to Australia, was wildly popular, became our Prime Minister. Started talking about closing Pine Gap, America's most important offshore military installation in the middle of Australia. Pulled Australian troops out of the Vietnam War against their wishes. Started talking about a peace accord in the Pacific. Once again, it threatened the military-industrial complex. They deposed him in a coup, 1975. Most Australians don't even know that because they don't study history. This is what's going on. We don't understand our own history because they hide it from us. Gough Whitlam, look him up. 1971 became the
what's
first.
his name again?
Gough Whitlam. Gough, G-O-U-P-H, Whitlam, W-H-I-T-L-A-M. Look up Gough Whitlam. Became the first Western leader to go to China. Got there in 1971, 7 months before Richard Nixon, and they hated him for it.
Well, one thing, my history is not as intense as yours, but
Yeah.
the one part that I was always curious about, the JFK assassination, and
Yeah.
3 weeks before or 3 months before was the South Vietnamese president assassination as well.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize this. Were they both?
They're all linked. This is the thing. It's all obvious. Once you actually link all the bits, put all the blocks together, it paints the picture. But the problem is that they muddy the water. All right?
Nobody has the time. Like, look at you, and look at me.
Yeah.
You almost have to be employed for years.
I've spent my whole life studying.
See, and then if you spend your whole life doing this, what you don't need to spend life making money and feeding the kids and doing overtime at work and drinking beer with the guys, remembering statistics from baseball, football, basketball, so that you can be cool, like a typical dumbass that don't know anything about the world.
Yeah, but this is the problem that we have. They use our patriotism against us. It's a weapon. Like I said before, they don't care about America. They don't care about Australia. patriotism to them is nothing. They don't care about patriotism. All they care about is global domination, about making money. Ask yourself this question: if everything that I'm saying is bullshit, then why are we the ones that are always at war? Think about it. Think about it. Really think about that. Why are we the ones that are always at war?
Well, I just thought it's for money. For the elites.
Well, yes, exactly. That's exactly right. There is money in conflict. Under a capitalist system, conflict creates dollars. It's good for the economy. Peace is bad. Under a socialist system, the difference between China and the United States, okay, is that there is no hope in hell of any business or any oligarchs going into China and controlling that government. And that's the difference between the United States and China. That's the one difference. And that's why they demonize China so much. They've been doing it for 170 years.
See, what bothers me more than anything else, I'll be honest, you don't look like a gambler type, and I have nothing against gambling, but
Yeah.
when majority of, I don't want to say majority, but you look at the Las Vegas capital of Sinopville, I just came from.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that place changed so fast, so instantly, because
Yes.
there's money.
Yes.
And so many people in China with money that wants to come here just to gamble. And I go,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is
But
a
look,
transition to talk about gambling.
Sihanoukville is in the making. I first went to Sihanoukville 15 years ago. All right, the mud used to run down that hill into the bay every time it rained, and it'd turn the bloody bay black or brown. You know, you often see people on YouTube criticising China for what they've done in Sihanoukville, but at the same time, the Chinese are rebuilding this country. It's in the making. You know, the US administration and the British came in here; they completely destroyed it.
Oh, the Vietnam visa.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, company.
Oh, the paper. Yeah. I usually say Phong Gulao, or Phong. Oh, in Vietnam you say Phong.
Yeah.
Phong Gulao only because it's a very, for the people that I'm showing in Vancouver or in America, they haven't been backpacking as much as I have. Honestly, this is probably my 10th year, so I like to show them what my favorite aspect of Vietnam.
Yeah.
But if your hotel is near Phong Gulao, I definitely won't mind hanging out and having beer if you even drink beer.
Tonight I'm.
But you're busy.
Tonight I have a dinner.
Yeah, focus on that.
I've got a dinner tonight. Tomorrow night possibly. I'm staying. Hang on, I'll tell you. Okay, here we go. I am staying Go Baptiste. That's where I'm staying.
If I do have a chance, if I have time, I'll come by and say, hey, is Jason King available? They'll
Well, I'm going to get a SIM as soon as I cross the border, so I'll be able to give you a number. But just take my email address.
Yeah, I'll get a SIM too, but I find getting a SIM at the center is better because here is a phone card, but at the center you get internet. You know, they let you pick your phone number. So
Yeah.
don't worry, I'll find. You know, if not this short time, honestly, Mr. King I really appreciate the education.
Take a picture of that. That's got my email address.
Okay.
I've got 2 email addresses. Those ones that's there. The best way to get me is on email because you can always get me.
What is IMAX? Or email?
Sorry.
The best way to get find you is
On email. But that's also my Cambodian telephone number there.
But you're a busy man.
Yeah.
You're going there to your marketing and
Yeah,
you have your
I'll be-
job. Don't worry, just focus on that.
Yeah.
It's a small world, I'll come back and I go to Cambodia every year.
Yeah,
If
well-
I'm in Phnom Penh, I definitely will hit you up because.
Take a look.
I'm sorry,
Phnom
Phnom Penh.
It's encouraging bad behaviour because a lot of people don't realise it, but that was like a form of racism because the diplomats that went to Cambodia, they did that on purpose.
Because they're
did that
from
on
Vietnam.
purpose. They did it on purpose.
So it's supposed to be Phnom Penh.
It's Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh. It's always been Phnom Penh.
Yeah, and then they did it on purpose.
They do it on purpose.
Yeah, and being as an English person, like when I the reason why I want to run Vietnam not only is by the coast, it's easy to learn the alphabets because it's French alphabets.
Yeah.
Because if I have to learn the Thai or Khmer alphabets,
Yeah.
it would take me a while to even like learn how to type it properly on your
Yeah,
phone. It'll take time. It really will.
This is the sort of stuff that I post, though. It's one of the videos.
Oh, you put a lot of post effects on it. Well done.
This is my Cambodia. I make all sorts of different types of videos. I predominantly do Cambodia.
Do you have a retirement visa in this country, or you
Business
just
visa.
visitor? So do you have to
No,
do
business.
your border run?
Business, no.
Oh yeah. Oh, you pay $100 a year for your
370.
Sorry?
370.
$370. So you stay here indefinitely.
That's the sort of stuff I post. I'll show you my most popular video. Hang on a second. Sure. My most popular ones are always the ones in the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I like this one. This is my best video. Everyone loves this video. I don't know why.
Dancing Girl. Maybe
Lots of guests. I do interviews.
colors are great, you know.
Interview moments, I interview all the girls, but that just gives you an idea of what I
No,
post.
this is why people like nobody can even talk to the girls.
Yeah, I can. This is my Cambodia.
So Jason King here, October 14th, 2023.
This is the corner bar of Phnom Penh.
I'm looking forward to your conversations with him.
It goes on. I interview all the staff and talk to them. back at 136 with the ladies of the evening of Phnom Penh. They're lovely ladies, all very nice Khmer girls, very well mannered, all well dressed. There's no nudity like in Thailand. They're very conservative here in Cambodia. Now I'm just going to ask the girls some questions. Ladies, if I can just confirm, do you ever have any fights? Like do you all get on, support each other? Do you all support each other? Do you
It goes on. So anyway, the page is This Is My Cambodia, so please subscribe. Okay. So you happy with that?
Good. Very happy.
So that's what I do. I'm the only foreigner that they'll let in because I've been going for so long. They trust me.
Either they trust you or me, or that they think that the CIA or someone is gonna get one or us soon. They're like, oh, these guy's gonna get killed, and then let them record, let them do what they do. Time lapse on your phone or with the different app?
Oh, I edit on
You edit it?
Yeah.
Wow, you do a lot of work.
Watch this.
Yeah, you do a lot of work.
I do. So there you go, that's my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.
My Cambodia.
Yeah, This Is My Cambodia.
This is my Cambodia.
This is my Cambodia.
I'll definitely find you on YouTube.
I also do I do lots of time lapses. This is my favorite time lapse that I've done. Actually, I'll show you.
I've experimented with time lapse. Some camera or some phone does it. It takes a capture.
Now you're better off just do like. Yeah, just keep it still. Look, this is my favorite time lapse. It's a lady dancing. You know that way as well as you want.
Oh, you're looking at the cloud, right?
Okay, yeah.
The cloud.
Towards the end, I speed it up. It goes really good. It's like the dancing lady, except in the clouds. That's why I used to say music.
Alright, thank you. That's it. Right? That's it's a nice one. The cloud moving.
That's what I said.
It's like lava lamp.
This part's cool.
Just make a YouTube video of all your time lapse.
I do lots of time lapses. That's what I do. Something wrong with the reception here. So, I'm just looking towards Street 136 here, and I'm going this morning.
Let me ask you this question, Jason. Is military industrial complex that giant of a group that
Yes.
controls other countries? Like Canada, Australia?
It's that, yes, it's been like that for. It's been like that since basically since
World War.
since the end of World War One. Like the thing that people don't realise is that these companies have grown that big now that they control governments, they control countries.
Oh, the companies that control
Yes.
the company.
Yeah, it's not just one group. It's it's like a conglomerate of different organisations that have grown that big now.
It's
And-
more than the 1,000 companies that is with the World Economic Conference.
Well, you have to understand as well that our elites benefit by the perpetuation of war, and that's how they control our governments. They control our information, they control our education. I always say the vast majority of people, the smartest people on the planet, never finish school. And it's true, because self-interest takes us by the hand and drags us down a road that normally we wouldn't want to go. But it's sort of like getting in with the wrong crowd at school. You want to be popular, so you go along. And then you add money to the mix, and all of a sudden you become somebody that you never thought that you would become. And that's what, and you often see that with the generals and so forth in the military. And have you ever heard of John R. Stockwell?
Oh, can you go back just a little bit? Like, you become the person that you don't want to become, you said?
Yes.
That's how generals are?
Well, we're not just generals, they're like everybody. Like self-interest, okay, is probably the ugliest phrase in the English dictionary, because that is what controls human emotion. Everybody wants to have money, everyone wants to get laid, everyone wants a pretty wife or a rich husband or what have you. It's when you look at little kids when they're little, there is no racism. You're not born with it, you're born into it, and then you become it.
You're almost leaning towards the, the book that was banned in America, the Economic Hitman, the Confession of the Economic.
Okay, look, I want to show you something.
If someone give you a suitcase full of all money,
Let me show
all
you.
the money in the world.
Yeah, look, that's John R. Stockwell. All right, go and watch John R. Stockwell's interview, 1983-84, I think it was, on US 60 Minutes. He was the former head of the Angola Task Force with the CIA, served 7 tours of duty over 13 years. In 1982, 83, 84, on US 60 Minutes, he went rogue. Here, we're going close on this part here. See here? Read that. When you get a chance, have a read of this. John R. Stockwell. And then the next part is look at all the wars that we've been in since. This is all just since World War II. I mean, why is it that we are the ones that are always at war? And that's the question that you just need to ask yourself. Everything that I've told you is on my page. Okay, JSN King. If you want to look it up, go and look it up. And I'm telling you, I mean, a lot of you guys out there aren't going to like what you see, but that is the reality of the situation. It is not a case of people attacking America. America's already been taken over. America was taken over before the Second World War. And it's true. It genuinely was. The presidents are not in control. It's not a matter of left or right or whatever. It's just a game of divide and conquer.
Well, Jason, I don't know you. I think the first time I had time to actually look at all this stuff was in 2008 when I was first laid off from my profession as a...
Yeah. Take a look here. This is Tiananmen Square. All right. Now you notice all these tanks here that are all burnt out. Okay. Now, when you go across here, you can see the protesters are burning tanks. They're killing the soldiers through smoke inhalation at night time. The sun's gone down. Now look. Let's look here. The sun is up, and they're still burning tanks. All right. This is what the CIA did. They trained them. They taught them how to do this.
To burn the tanks?
Yes, you can see there in the daytime, the sun's up, but you go back here, the sun's down, they're still burning tanks. It was an attack on China. That's what this was. And then you go over here, and you actually watch the BBC footage. Listen.
Once he was stuck, the crowd had him, and the half-dozen soldiers inside, virtually at their mercy. The army resisted their efforts for a long time.
It was an attack on China. It wasn't a massacre. It was a CIA-backed attack on China.
But it was a Chinese tank running over the student.
No student got run over by it. That's bullshit. It's just fucking false narrative. It's crap. Alright? It was an attack on the Chinese.
So I swear I saw the Chinese newspaper with human body and remains.
So, look, some did, but the man that stood in front of the tank didn't get run over. Alright? It's all bullshit.
And finally, once I got
it's an insult to our intelligence, but people go along with it because it's always on television.
Well, we're older. We saw we know what happened here.
Look, after a while,
if you ask me,
listen,
we almost.
I am so sick of trying to teach people.
that honestly, I feel like going out and hanging myself sometimes.
No, we're a similar age, so we
Yeah.
grew up. Like I was in
Look,
grade 10 with
look,
the master.
The
when the
greatest
master
achievement of science this century will be the acknowledgement of our ignorance. Okay, most people do not have the mental capability to be able to focus long enough to actually work out what's really going on. And because it's if you play a bad song long enough on the radio, the first time you're going to hate it, but after 50 times you're going to start singing along, and that's what happens.
She's in 20. The girls, the people that you meet that are 20-year-old, they don't even know what is 9/11.
They don't.
They don't, right? They're
No.
now the new alliance.
Yeah.
9/11 just happened.
But at the same time,
9/11 just happened in Israel,
9/11
right?
was a false flag.
Like this
they-
massacre
they let that
in
happen.
Palestine and Israel is the latest massacre.
Yeah,
they
that's
call it, right?
genocide. That's the
yeah.
irony. The Israelis have been committing genocide against the Palestinians for decades. You know,
Yeah.
that's the real
I hope
situation.
I hope the truth now with YouTube and Web 2.0, at least people can comment about some of these footage, or just a left. Basically, majority of the news you see is all right. Is it right? It's all right side. It's like, yeah, you need heartburn pills for all the information. You know, like beer's not a good idea. I don't even drink coffee anymore. I drink coffee when I have 10 kilometers left in my run. That's when I drink a coffee, but I can't drink coffee. There are aspects of it that I actually like that are like when I go to the island in Coral, I actually don't mind seeing no roads. But once you have roads, all these kids riding on their family or their parents' motorcycle, like, why do you need a motorcycle on this island? It's just unnecessary. I'm not surprised. Maybe there's a new organization called Unknown Yet, but they just want you and me to meet.
Yeah.
When I bought the ticket and when you were put on the bus, they want us to sit together. That's why there's nobody on this bus.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there really is a new group that is anti-CIA, I call it. Anti-military industrial complex.
You watch The Matrix, right?
Yes.
That's what it's like living here. That's what we're living inside. It's basically very similar.
Yes.
It's
Seriously, I used to make video game, and his latest movie is about him making a video game. And I go, yeah, this is awesome. I hope if I don't make a game, I hope you're helping someone make this content for because as a game player, I've been complaining that games make so much money. It really makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's just these games don't have content.
Yeah.
The story sucks.
Yeah,
I go, why don't you turn a real life story, like a world, and modify it somewhat, and just put it back in the game. And I go,
I don't play video games, so I'm really good.
but you won't believe how much money is in the game industry.
No, I'm sure there is. I'm sure. But I'm not really into it. I'm more sort of...
Most people aren't like you or me. Most people aren't comfortable being with another kind.
Yeah.
First, most people aren't interested in leaving their home or their mom's basement and see the world. And that's pretty shocking for most people.
Yeah.
And then most guys get horny and they get married. They marry their village sweetheart. And how on this entire planet, how many of them have are financially capable to do what you and I are doing? So they would just marry their high school sweetheart at age 16 and have a kid.
Yeah.
Have their fourth kid by the time they're 40.
Yeah.
It's called life.
Yeah.
And they spend most of the time on tuk-tuk playing Bejeweled and go, oh, you have to simplify this world into like not even missions, just like stories.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you why my mom and dad immigrated to America, because we were afraid of communism in the 80s, And then we saw the movie about not Phnom Penh, but it's about the Khmer Rouge, the genocide. Right? We go, what happened in 1997 when Hong Kong turned over? Same thing happens. But now you look at Hong Kong.
The same thing didn't happen. Look, the British went in there. They got them all hooked on bloody opium. All right. They stole Hong Kong. Okay. After we invaded China, 7 times? The Belgians went in. The bloody English went in. The Americans went in. It's never been China. China has been our victim for at least the last 170 years.
See, you're pro-China, but you know, I talk to white people a lot, and they're very pro-West. Like, when it's obvious, even based on the questioning.
Yeah.
Like, I can't rephrase it. I met these New Zealand people, and they say, "Oh, shouldn't you think Hong Kong should be England?" Even based on that question alone, I know they're a lot pro-West.
The problem we have, right, is everyone's brainwashed. It has never been China. China has never been the problem. Neither is North Korea. Who went into bloody the Korean War? The bloody Americans. It's the same with Vietnam. They had the same plan for Vietnam, but they got kicked out. They wanted to split Vietnam in two.
Well, look at the Afghan war. Like, after 9/11, everything's.
Let me show you.
You don't have to tell me. I know. I don't want to get into it.
This was their plan. All right.
You're the detail guy.
It has never been China. All right. If you're thinking that it's China, you're brainwashed. It's this bullshit. Okay. China hasn't been born for 44 years. Look at this map. Let me show you a map.
I just want to see how China can evolve into something where people end up. Because the word totalitarian.
Listen, it has never.
Scary.
Listen. You're living under a dictatorship now. All right. There is no democracy. There is no fucking such thing as democracy. There hasn't been fucking democracy in fucking 5,000 years.
I actually agree with
It's
you.
bullshit.
It's bullshit.
All right. It's bullshit. The people that you vote for are not in control.
Yes.
All right. Understand this. China is more of a democracy than what we have, and it's true. The CCP, the CPC, the Communist Party of China. All right, it's not the CCP. They just mispronounce it. They do that on purpose. It's the CPC. All right. That is more of a democratic system than what we have. They've got over a million.
CPP.
The CPC. It's the Communist Party of China. It's not the Chinese Communist Party. They mispronounce it just like they mispronounce Phnom Penh. All right. What China has is more of a democracy than what we have in the West, and it's true. You've only got to look at China. How is it possible that they've rebuilt the country so incredibly? How is it possible? Like, you go to China, it's like when Marty McFly went into the future. Be proud of your heritage. China is by far the most peaceful, most loving, most democratic country on earth.
But you realize I come from Vancouver, capital of where many Chinese people, communist Chinese go. The reason why they left is they're afraid of China, and that's why they went to a more promised land. So what I see and what I hear,
it's bullshit.
all
It's
these
all
people
bullshit.
that are.
Look at this map. That was their plan for Vietnam. Okay, they wanted to split it in two. What happened? The North Vietnamese kicked them out. And that's why we had Operation Eagle. That's why they abandoned Cambodia. That's what their real plan was. Okay? And they kicked them out. The Chinese system of governance is by far the benchmark of what we should all have. It is not totalitarian. That's the two-party system. Okay? The two-party system is a joke. It's basically just a system that it's a system of divide and conquer. Trump was not in control. Biden now is not in control. It's the corporations that profit from perpetual war, and people don't understand that. And after a while, I just feel like strangling people because it's almost like you've got to beat it out of them.
No, honestly, I'm listening because I agree with what you say. I almost want someone that disagree with you.
Yeah.
I hope I know who I'm talking to. I want them to have their own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like I almost said the cut.
I don't talk about this stuff on my YouTube channel, and the reason I don't do it on my YouTube channel is because I don't want them to take me down again. I've been taken down like about 7 times off Facebook and different platforms. But what you need to understand, like, I do a lot of the history. All right, you see this picture here. This is the Nazis going through China. Back during World War II. This is a Nazi train, and then you have to understand that China has always been our victim. Look, this is China. Okay, this is back in, what's that? 1933, 2023. The same place. After we destroyed China. All right. China has always been our victim. Here we go again. 1933, 2020, 2023. We destroyed China. We've been attacking China all this time. China has never attacked us. Okay, that's the biggest load of bullshit.
You know, Jason, I'll tell you, I thought it sounds horrible for me saying this even on this YouTube. It's like we always need cheap labor. I like you
Exactly.
almost call it slave.
Exactly.
Like when
They
they want cheap labor. So how Chinese people were? I mean, now African, like before the colonization, I go, what's the point of colonization? Is so that we have cheap labor, right? So the whole point of China after World War II is like Japanese was siding with the Nazis. And, is sometimes you wonder if they weren't promoted to actually. The king of Japan weren't promoted to actually.
Who defeated the Japanese?
According to the history, is the Americans.
No.
The
It was
Chinese.
the
Well,
Chinese defeated the Japanese.
See, again, like you said, the
Well,
World
okay,
War
why
II
did-
won,
why did the
American
Americans-
won,
listen,
right? The Russian lost so much.
Ask yourself this question, all right? Why did the Americans, why did the US government stay out of World War II so long? Because Hitler was our creation. Okay, Hitler was put into office. They wanted a right-wing guy that was expansionist to go into Russia, and that's why they stayed out for so long. And it's true; it really genuinely is.
I don't mind I don't mind what you're saying because I actually.
If you get a chance, look, if you want to record something that actually makes sense, record Anthony Bourdain. I want to show the Anthony Bourdain thing, but I also want to show you something else that I've got here that you need to know.
I like
about.
talking about these stuff because most of my even educated friends, they don't have time to think. They're so busy with their Monday to Friday
They have been
counting beans.
listen. They have been planning on attacking China since 1993. All right, China
1993.
since 1993, and the only reason they haven't done it yet, okay, is because of what happened with 9/11. But 9/11 once again was just a false flag. It's a lot of bullshit. It was an internal attack on America. They let it happen. Why? Because when you're out there bombing the entire world, if your people start to think that you're the problem, then maybe they might try and overthrow you. And that's why we had 9/11. It's all a trick. It's all bullshit. It's like the biggest load of horseshit on the planet. It's the greatest, like I said before, the greatest achievement of science this century will be the acknowledgement of our ignorance. The greatest.
Yeah, I just saw a post.
Listen.
It's not enlightenment.
The greatest.
We just became stupid.
Listen, the
Bunch of
greatest,
stupid.
the greatest leader that we've had in the last 100 years is Xi Jinping by a very long way. He is by far the most peaceful, progressive leader on this planet, and we should all be supporting him because he wants peace. It's like it's our side that wants war.
I
It's
always
not
wonder if TikToks and Instagram, it's like everybody's a superstar and they're so in love with their own beauty, and it's like it's just all their time are spent on admiring themselves, like a bunch of narcissists, right? So people have even less time to even think. They don't think how can they even.
Also, all you people in Taiwan, you need to understand that Taiwan is part of fucking China. Okay? Now listen.
But they don't like.
Listen.
At this very moment, by the leaders of the People's Republic of China, a joint communique on the establishment of diplomatic relations between the United States of America and the People's Republic of China, January 1st, 1979. The United States of America and the People's Republic of China have agreed to recognize each other and to establish diplomatic relations as of January the 1st, 1979. The government of the United States of America acknowledges the Chinese position that there is but one China, and Taiwan is part of China.
And Taiwan is part of China. Taiwan is part of China. Okay? It's not a country. Taiwan is not a country. It's part of China. It's always been part of
I
China.
would like to read a
I've been in
joint
Taiwan. It's a
communique
two-part system. One side is
I've been there as well, but it's still part of China. Okay,
At this very
it's a
moment,
separatist government,
by
and
the
the
leaders
Americans
of the
are now
People's Republic
arming
of China,
them. We cannot
a joint
allow
communique on the establishment of
the
diplomatic
Americans and the
relations
British and
between
our side
the
to try and
United
steal
States
it
of
again.
America.
That's what they're trying to do. It's all bullshit. It's a lie.
well after World War II, they still won a war. They won the Cold War.
China was occupied by the Japanese during World War II. They went in there and they used it as their unsinkable aircraft carrier. It's like, honestly, people just don't understand history. They're idiots. Once you know, you just feel like hanging yourself.
It's very rare for me me to meet a person like Jason. So I really appreciate this our meeting here on this empty bus. I remember this bridge. This is we're getting close to the border of Vietnam.
Yeah, we're about to lose mobile coverage.
You're losing your mobile coverage?
We will be shortly. But anyway, look, just understand this, all right? Everything that we know is wrong. I mean, if you're sitting at home and you're thinking this guy's a tosser, he doesn't know what he's talking about, you're the one that doesn't know what you're talking about, you know? That's what these people need to understand. That
I hope one day when I make this video game, or someone helps me make this video game, they'll contact you as a...
I'm on my way to Vietnam. So, I'll try and get some
reference? What do you call those?
I can't guarantee it. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, there's too much information on this planet that I don't know well enough, but Jason seems to be a scholar of the unknown. Information of the unknown.
Look,
The hidden truth. You know, the game is about truth. Anonymous. They want truth. So,
yeah.
I want to get closer to that.
Look at this. Shanghai Communique, 1972. Richard Nixon, okay, signed the Shanghai Communique. And what did it say? It said that Taiwan was part of freaking China, for God's sake. Here we go again. Go across here.
Taiwan is an island because when the
Taiwan has always been part of bloody China.
But
Okay?
before you, I argue against it because there's a Communist Party versus the party that lost to the Communist Party. The party that went to the island.
Look,
was
who's surrounding who here?
The
Who's surrounding
Americans.
who?
Yeah.
Okay? All of these are US military occupations. Japan, South Korea. We wouldn't have a South bloody Korea. But we could not beat the North Koreans. Remember MASH? We couldn't beat them. The only reason
Well, MASH, yeah,
the only
it's-
reason the Chinese and the Koreans signed the armistice agreement was because the Americans threatened them with nuclear annihilation. What do you think the Americans are doing there now? The United States has not got a hope in hell of defeating the Chinese. Not a hope in hell. They're using their own people as bait so that they can use nuclear weapons on China. Because that is the only way that they'll win the peaceful Chinese. The Chinese built, we bombed. So get out of your head that there is any problem with the bloody Chinese. The Chinese are a peaceful country. I've been to like 9 provinces over like 40 years. I'm telling you now, it's all a lie. It's all bullshit. And the same with World War II. Hitler was our own creation. Hitler was put into power by the West as an attack on the Soviets, as an attack against communism. Communism has never, ever, ever, ever been the problem. It's all a lie. It's just been bred into us. You know, look, like I said before, if you play a bad song long enough, you'll hate it the first time. But after the 9th or 10th song, yeah, you're going to start humming along. I mean, that's what goes on. And most of the people in the world are living a lie. It's like they're living inside the friggin' Matrix. They've got no idea. You know, Mao saved China from us. Mao was a good man. Every problem that happened under Mao was our creation.
But you say this, but my Chinese people
Yeah.
that I know
Because
didn't
they're
like
idiots.
Mao.
Because
Because he really starved a lot of people. You know.
Oh look, why did that happen? Because we fucking did that. Now watch this and shut the fuck up.
Okay.
And E. Roland Harriman.
Watch.
This new breed of Western business moguls faced their first really big test with the come.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Once again, we must never forget that this was the first time in human history that a truly global conflict had been fought. It was sure to have long-lasting international repercussions, and many observers at the time had their doubts as to whether Western industrial capitalism, which was still in its infancy, could cope with the demands of war production. In the world economic recession which followed, many feared these fledgling industries might vanish altogether as countries struggled with debt and war reparations. But actually, Western capitalism emerged from World War I in a far stronger state than it was in at the beginning. So how could this be? The First World War taught the new class of international bankers and industrialists a very simple lesson. War is good for business. Take, for instance, Remington. We tend to associate their name with typewriters, but actually they made most of the rifles and handguns used during the Great War, and made a colossal fortune in the process. The banks, in their turn, lapped this up because it meant that defense contractors were having no trouble repaying the huge loans they had outstanding, and, best of all, the world's richest nations had had to borrow huge sums from the merchant bankers in the first place to finance the war.
the Americans and the British just as much as the Germans. And they would now be repaying these loans to the banks for decades to come at a steep rate of interest. For international merchant bankers, the Rothschilds in particular, the First World War had been a gift from heaven. And people watching this should ask themselves a simple question before passing judgment. Supposing you were in business during that war and the contract you had with the government to supply the troops with tin hats or boots or uniforms or gunpowder was netting you millions every year in profit. And then one day the war ended and your money stopped completely. What do you think your attitude to war might be? That war was good for business was not the only lesson the ruling classes learned during this period. The Russian Revolution of 1917 terrified rich people all over the world. Watching Lenin and Trotsky taking over such a vast area of the globe, the kings and queens of Europe's tiny sovereign states in particular became extremely nervous. The question on all their minds was, supposing the communist success in Russia should inspire their own working class to rise in revolt. Many of the crowned heads of Europe, like England's George V, had been related to Tsar Nicholas, and the brutal execution of the Tsar and his family, particularly the bayoneting of his young daughters, sent a shockwave through the upper classes of every nation. Did a similar fate lie in store for the royal families of Holland, Sweden, Spain, and England? This question was lying heavily on the thoughts of the elite when the First World War ended in 1918, and it had the effect of focusing the minds of the new Illuminati bankers and industrialists on the question of what to do for best with a defeated and dilapidated Germany. The population were poor, penniless, and worn out, yet the German economy still contained some of the most sophisticated and expensive industrial stock on the planet. The Illuminati sensed an opportunity. Supposing, as the world's first international businessmen, they could get their hands on Germany's steel mills, her coal mines, her factories, ports, and her shipbuilding industry. Something few people know, however, is that Dulles and his older brother John Foster Dulles wrote the Treaty of Versailles. They were both lawyers of Sullivan and Cromwell, and it was largely they who decided that the German people must pay war reparations totaling 135 billion marks. A mind-boggling sum at that time, which today translates into 250 trillion. When this was announced, the legendary UK economist J. Maynard Keynes maintained it was a ludicrous sum, and he did a swift calculation from which he reasoned that it would take Germany until 1988, 60 years hard labour, to pay it off. But it didn't. So why? Maynard Keynes sensed that the Dulles brothers, backed as they were by the new Illuminati, were trying quite deliberately to sabotage the German economy, and they succeeded. As mass unemployment led to hyperinflation, the famous stories of people papering their walls with worthless Reichsmarks and handing over their life savings for a loaf of bread soon followed. With German investors on their knees, the new Illuminati moved in and began buying up shares of stock in German industry at a knockdown price. Now, why did they do this? The cynical mind would say to make a buck, but it really wasn't that simple. What they wanted was to make Germany strong again so that she would become a bulwark against Soviet communism. It was around this time that the newspapers, which these same rich people owned, made sure the word Bolshi, a truncation of Bolshevik, ended the English language, so that we would associate Bolshevism with aggression. And it was with these subtle and not so subtle methods that the international elite began to shape our destiny for the remainder of the 20th century. With such heavy investment coming into the country, particularly from America and Britain, Germany began to recover very rapidly. And then the new class of international financiers began searching around for a homegrown, authoritarian political movement they could support. What they needed was someone they could count on to be both aggressive and expansionist. Ultra-right-wing causes, which at normal times would have been ignored and marginalized, were suddenly given very careful consideration, until finally the rich elite found a man and an idea which they felt might deliver the political outcome they desired. Adolf Hitler and his fledgling National Socialist Party. At the same time that the world's rich elite began grooming Hitler for his starring role, they also became even more deeply involved in military intelligence. I say even more because the Dulles brothers, Averell Harriman, and the chief of Remington, Samuel Bush, a man referred to as the original Merchant of Death, had a relationship with American military intelligence stretching back into World War I. The lesson here being that the American variant of military intelligence started out with businessmen protecting their investments, just as if they were a mafia. Right from the very beginning, it had nothing to do with national security and everything to do with money. And Hitler, the Illuminati, had found a ready-made stooge who could be the face of this autocratic new movement. And when the time came to put together a new secret intelligence service, which was going to help protect all the money they had tied up in the German economy, these men...
Long enough for this October 14th video with Jason King, and I'm going to keep recording.